Yeah. You should put it right there.
It wasn't as good of a view. I want to thank you guys for coming out. I definitely really appreciate it. Don't look at the camera, Caleb. So for this assignment, I'm going to be doing it on a scholarly person. It's for my CE 300 class with Dr. Canley. So it's going to be between 8 and 10 minutes, not too long. So don't get too impatient. So again, scholarly person. I'm Taylor Archer. So the traits of a scholarly person, you guys probably have your own style and words that you like to use. For mine, I like to use compassion, especially compassionate just because if it's a professor, they need to understand that, okay, we have other things going on in our lives and they need to be understanding when we turn in an assignment and it's not the right one, all of that fun stuff. They need to listen, especially. So listening for questions, all of that, just to kind of get an understanding of where you're at, where you need to be, those sort of things. They need to take risks a lot, so they just can't leave you out high and dry and throw you to the dogs, because that will not be good for you, especially when it's a class that's like this, for example. They need to be proactive. Now, proactive is one of my most big ones. You need to be on top of things. You need to get things done in a timely manner. So with assignments, grading them, getting deadlines, and that sort of thing. And you need to be committed to what you're doing. So in your profession, for a job, that sort of thing. An everyday hero, you guys probably have your own. It's probably either going to be a parent or a friend or sports player, that sort of thing. For me, it's my dad. He's the one here on the left. Yeah, my dad, not Ann. And this was at a wedding I did not attend, thankfully, because of the picture. It's horrifying. But for traits that go along with an everyday hero, for me, it's courageous. So they need to stand up for you. They need to be that person that is always there for you. Selfless. That's something that's huge for me as well. It's geared towards they're always going to be there for you. They're always going to put you first. They're going to put other people first besides themselves. Especially here at college, they want to put their kids first in order for them to do what's best for them. Patience, we all can know that one for how crazy we were back in elementary, middle school, even now, especially for me being here 5.5 years. That sort of thing. They're very patient. And then caring, very self-explanatory on that one. My plan, we're going to be doing an academic as well as professional. Don't worry, it's not going to be 2 minutes long. Major changes in my academic plan, that includes the department assignment, not like the big changes, so like what the classes are changing in school. So I started out as a social studies history teaching candidate. Coming in, changed over to accounting for a semester, then went to PE, and then now to individualized studies. Course choices that I've chosen, definitely a wide range of them. You can go from the sciences to liberal arts into the education, as well as into mathematics, that sort of thing. The professional career, I've coached 2 seasons at Winona Cotter right now, junior high softball, as well as doing 1st and 2nd grade co-ed at the Y here in Winona. Clinical work, I've done clinical work in La Crescent and at Winona Area Public Schools for the education career in the classrooms, and then as well as my date practicum at Winona High with the kids there. Future challenges are going to be on the social justice issues as well as multicultural issues. The first social justice issue is access to health care. With my dad being at Olmsted Medical Center, I've always had the benefit of having health care all my life, and I know going forward that will change at some point. There's no guarantee of me having health care, so that's something that I want to pursue later on so I can support my family. Access to education, having college, public schools, private schools, charter, that sort of thing, just so there's a wide variety of schools for my future family, future kids to go to later on to get the best education they can. And then poverty is something that's always in the back of my head, especially coming out of school with that, being at that level and trying to get back up and trying to find the right job to support myself and my family. Moving on to multicultural issues with race, religion, and disability. That plays a huge role in any environment that you're in, especially in education where race, it can be different from one school to the next. So where I grew up, we had 90% whites, whereas inner city, up in St. Paul, for example, would be probably the opposite for with 90% African American or other quote-unquote minority groups. With religion, that's a big one because you need to know, okay, how do I act around someone who has a different religion than mine? So, like Islam or Buddhist, Hindu, that sort of thing, just to be very, very respectful and to their culture. And then with disabilities, no matter where you're going to go, that's going to be a big issue with having people that need to have access to buildings through wheelchair ramps, automatic doors, especially with ADA and then IDEA, both of those legislations. You need to incorporate the students so that they get the best healthcare, not healthcare, but education as well. Being an educated person, family is a big one. You want to be prepared for the future with knowing what you're supposed to do with home ownership, payments, all of that to better support your family. That leads into financially, being able to balance your checkbook to paying bills, either a mortgage, car payment, or even student loans, that sort of thing. And then professionally, you want to always know where you're going to. So if, let's say, Tyler goes into sports broadcasting for ESPN, you should probably know about the company, about that sports in depth, the players, that sort of thing. Moving on to the Erikson stages. If anybody's heard of this, it's the stages of development. It's used in the education realm. He's aligned with Freud a little bit, which some people discredit Erikson for his use, but I do like it. Right now I'm in stage 6, which is 18 to 35 years of age. It's the intimacy versus isolation. So it's the love versus being alone, basically. And with being in a relationship, definitely consider myself on the intimacy instead of the isolation, where typically people will, if they aren't in a relationship or if they don't have, it doesn't have to be significant other, it can be with friends, family, they're more likely to isolate themselves from the rest of the world. And with the other stages, it definitely plays a big role, with stage 2 being guilt versus empathy. And that's going to be around the year to year and a half age, where they learn, okay, this is, I know I did something bad, so I feel guilt for it, or somebody else did bad, so I'm going to feel empathetic for them. And then the last slide that I have is 2 stories from the textbook. The first one is Don't Be Afraid to Fail. For purposes, it's on page 76. It's about a college basketball coach, Don Meyer. And basically the story is about him and telling his players, okay, don't be afraid to fail. Don't worry about failure, worry about the chances you miss. So one quote that wasn't in the book but that really hits home is, a quote by Wayne Gretzky is, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, that you miss. That sort of thing. So definitely want to keep on track. You don't want to have any regrets going later in life. And then the last one is Everyone is Your Teacher. It's on page 117. It's no matter who you come in contact with, they will teach you something to help you along your path. So that can include ex-boyfriends or girlfriends. Can include parents, strangers, and then professors and teachers. No matter who it is, they're always going to have some sort of lesson for you. With like exes, this is, you break up with them because you know you wanted something else, so that's what you look for in your next person, that sort of thing. So you guys have any questions before I end? No? Okay. Well, thank you guys very much for being here, and thank you for all your support. Definitely appreciate it. So